Welcome to brandyarnaultfineart.com. Today I'm going to do a paint over. Now this was a class that I took online, and I think it's a Red Hawk, but I never really liked the way it came out. So I lived with it for several months to see if maybe, it would rest easier on my eyes, and it never really did. So I'm kind of running out of larger panels, and I wanted to paint 3 deer today. So this little guy he's going to get a completely different makeover, and you'll see. This video is going to focus on how I painted in the deer. The first step in preparing this panel was to scrape off any built up pigment. Then the second step was to take Gamsol on a cloth and vigorously scrub it in, trying to erase as much of the painting as I could. Now, because this painting has set for 4 months, I could not get all of it off, but that's okay. I'm used to painting over paintings, so I don't get as confused as I used to. Watch and see what I do. Right here. The ear starts right here. I'm going to start from the top down this time. And what I like about this is there's beautiful sunlight on it. And of course, you won't be seeing that right now because, I'm not there yet. So this deer right here is coming up the hill, and the pose is a difficult one to draw in with lines. So I scraped out my first effort and started over. Now, once I get to painting the shapes, it will come together and look normal. Just right now, it looks a little wonky. So now we're going to start our third deer. This one's probably going to be the easiest one to draw because it is behind the second deer and is further down the hill, so you don't see its legs. Here is the photo reference that I took. I was really blessed to see these deer, and not only that, they stood still for a while. I mean, not a long time, but time enough for me to get 3 different photographs of them before they scurried off. For the background, there is a tree here, and it's a rather large tree, and it's quite dark. And then I'm going to fill in just some basic colors. In other words, I'm going to do the block in. Now, I'm not going to show a lot of that because this is about the deer, how I paint the deer, but I'll show some of it. You see that I am applying a light coat. This is called scumbling, and it's a technique to I guess, get some color values in without committing to any one thing. And the goal now is to clear up the confusion from the underpainting. So with this part done, it's getting less confusing because we have virtually erased the hawk that's underneath. But we still have a little bit more to erase, and we'll do that with our next set of color values. I'm needing to soften these edges because they're tall grass. And with this, the block-in is complete. And now let's focus our attention to the purpose of this video, which is painting in these beautiful deer. And I'm going to start with the one that I think is the easiest to paint. And she's the easiest to paint because her legs are missing. And she has a fairly standard pose. So both of the deer that are coming up the hill are in direct sunlight, and they're lighter in color, but they're really bathed in sunlight. Where the one that's already at the top of the hill, and she is the focal point, she's darker. She's more like a muley, but she's also in shadow. Okay, so the second deer, she does have a cast shadow on the top of her head, but the rest of her is pretty much as light as the first one. The color mixtures that I'm using to paint these lighter deer are actually Viridian green, just a tad, a little bit of Viridian green, mixed into transparent iron oxide with gold ochre and white. And you just saw that I allowed the black lines in the drawing to become mixed in with the pigments that I'm applying. And that's okay because that actually dulls down the color more to make it look like the deer is in shadow, which the deer is. The deer is in shadow coming out facing the sunshine. Here I'm going to blend the edges just to give the illusion that the deer is set back into the woods. at least that part of the deer is set back into the woods as she is moving forward up the hill. There is a rim light here and on the right side of the deer. I want to block in deer number 3. I'm going to correct the ears first. This took a little more than an hour to do. I'm trying to study the value pattern here.